I'm back. I've not done a video for fucking what seems like ages. I've been watching. I've just not been making videos. Didn't really feel any great motivation. So this will be my first video, like I say, for a long time, and it's just going to be a topic video. I'm sort of burnt out on doing reviews and stuff like that. So this is going to be a topic video, and I don't know how long it's going to be. It might be quite long, but open another tab, do something else, and if you want to stick with it, then by all means give it a listen, because I do feel that it's something or some points that need to be said. So I'm going to try and do it in a pretty positive manner as much as is possible. I don't want to go off on obscure rants and tangents that are just filled with swearing and crap like that. So I'd want to try and put the points across as well as I possibly can, because I think it's, like I say, it's a topic that's worth tackling. So and as you can probably tell from the title of the video, it's going to be just why, in my opinion, TNA is putting on a much better product than WWE at the moment. And just wanted to go through, I've got 5 bullet points that I feel are important as to why they are putting on so much of a better product. So I'm going to go through one by one, and like I say, I'm not sure how long the video will be, how much detail I'm going to go into, but I want to try and cover as much as I possibly can, so without the video going on for too long. I mean, I want to try and keep it under 15 minutes if I can. So yeah, like I say, just to sort of give a prelogue, if you like, I think TNA, and I've said it in the last few review videos before I had my little break, I think TNA is putting on a much better product than WWE at the moment. In my opinion, that is undisputable. I mean, there's going to be people out there, well, I know for a fact there's people out there that still love what WWE are doing. I come across them all the time. When I comment on YouTube videos, you always get WWE marks coming back and trying to retort what you're saying, but in my opinion, there's no defence for their product as of late, and TNA has far surpassed them in almost every aspect. So yeah, I'm going to crack on. Let's go with bullet point number 1. All I've got I've actually got written down the bullet point, and then literally a couple of lines, and then I'm going to just go off the top of my head. So, number 1, storylines. TNA is giving me much more bang for my buck in terms of storyline development, character development, and the interesting storylines that they're giving me is just, it makes me look forward to watching Impact every week, which is something that I haven't been able to say for, well, probably since Hogan came in, Hogan Bischoff, at the end of 2009, very early 2010. I've not enjoyed Impact at all for a good couple of years, but for the last 6 months, I think Impact has been absolutely tremendous, if I'm being honest. I think it's better than any of WWE's TV offerings, better than Raw, definitely better than Raw. Raw's absolutely terrible. SmackDown is, in my opinion, the much better show compared to Raw, but I still think it's still got the B show feel that it always has had, except for when it first started in 99, 2000. But TNA Impact is better than SmackDown. As I say, definitely better than Raw. Raw's been bordering on unwatchable, in my opinion, except for the CM Punk turn on The Rock. Anything that Lesnar does, I'm always interested in watching. Lesnar's the fucking man. If it weren't for Lesnar, his sporadic appearances, and if it wasn't for Punk's continuing heel turn, I don't think I would watch Raw. I would have no reason to watch Raw whatsoever. I'm a massive fan of Daniel Bryan, but the stuff that he's been involved in, well, for the most part of this year, the love triangle, and now this crap with Kane with the anger management and all that bollocks. It's just terrible. I've got no reason to want to watch that whatsoever. I mean, Kane showing up in anger management. What the fuck? How did Kane become a comedy character? How did this happen? He came back. I thought he was doing great stuff just after he came back with the mask. And now he's like some wrestler from Chikara. I just don't get it. I don't get what they're doing with Daniel Bryan. I don't get what they're doing with Kane. That could be a decent feud, but they're just totally pissing it up the wall. So, as I say, Punk's heel turn, which I've been crying out for, and Brock Lesnar's sporadic appearances, and that's it. So basically, when you say that Lesnar appears once every 6 weeks maybe on Raw, that leaves just CM Punk. That's the only reason I watch Raw, and that's sad but true. Whereas TNA, they're giving me strong story. They're giving me strong storyline. Yeah, it's not always filled with logic. You've had the absolute sham of a storyline that was the AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels and Claire abortion, cheating, bollocks, whatever that was. That was just terrible. Hopefully they've knocked that on the head. It looks like they have. So hopefully AJ can go on to something better, and Daniels as well, because Daniels is a hell of a hand in my opinion. Very, very underutilised. I think he needs to go singles and be the heel that he was towards the end of his last ROH run. Cocky, smug heel, absolutely fantastic for Daniels. But anyway, yeah, aside from that shitty storyline, they've given me Bobby Roode and Austin Aries. Great feud, underrated. When this feud gets looked back on in years to come, I think it'll be remembered a lot better than it's being appreciated at the moment. I think they've done fantastic stuff. I love Roode. I think he's brilliant. He's been brilliant for TNA. He was a brilliant champion. Really helped give another level of credibility to the heavyweight championship, in my view. So, Aces and Eights is the latest storyline, which I like. I don't know. I've not really been reading dirt sheets or paying too much attention to the internet recently, but I don't know what the general consensus of opinion is on Aces and Eights. But I've liked it. I've appreciated it. I appreciate how they have built Aces and Eights, how they've basically got the upper hand every time there's been a confrontation. Makes you want to take it. It reminds me very much of when the Nexus first broke through and they actually dominated the top tier faces in WWE. That's what this reminds me of. They're getting the upper hand every time there's a confrontation. They're beating down AJ. They're beating down Austin Aries. They're also attacking heels, and I appreciate. I know it's been done before. It's been done 1,000 times. NWO, Evolution, Nexus, obviously the Core. It's been done before, but I always appreciate a stable. I think stables are massively underutilised these days in professional wrestling. I think there's always room for at least one stable in each promotion. And yeah, before Aces and Eights came along, there was no stables. I'm just going off the top of my head, there was no stables in TNA or WWE, the two main wrestling promotions in the States. None. Wrestling's always been that much stronger for stables. ROH, that's something that ROH has always done and has always done well, and I've always appreciated the way they've put together their stables. So, but yeah, I'm already going off on tangents. So, yeah, point number one: better storylines, more logic, not insulting my intelligence. I tune in on a Monday night to watch Raw, and it insults my intelligence 90% of the time. And that to me is a massive turn off. I don't expect to like everything, but I don't want to have my intelligence insulted to the point where I could easily just turn off and not watch the rest of the show. So, as I say, WWE is on thin ground with me personally at the moment, especially Raw. As I said in the last couple of videos, I'm on the verge of stopping watching Raw, which is something I've never done. I've been watching Raw since 1993 when it debuted. I've never ever stopped watching Raw, but this is the closest I've ever been. So, number 2, I'm going to go with making more people matter, more wrestlers on the roster. This has been a massive sticking point that WWE have had for, well, since the latter end of the Attitude Era, sort of 2000 going into 2002. They invest all their effort, time and effort, creatively into maybe 4, 5 at the most guys at the top of the card. That being Cena, obviously, Sheamus now, who I appreciate they've done a good job with. Orton, no matter what his indiscrepancies are, no matter how many times he fucks up away from outside of the ring, they still stick by him. They still continually put 100% effort behind him creatively, even if he's not in the title picture. And that, to me, is criminal. Randy Orton should be, in my opinion, bumped back down to mid-card. He would be fantastic to give the IC belt some renewed credibility, in my opinion. And it would be punishment for basically being a druggy mess. So that's Cena, Sheamus, Orton. Who am I forgetting? Forgetting somebody. Oh, Punk, CM Punk. So Cena, Orton, Sheamus, and Punk. 4 guys on the top of the card, in and around the title picture, and they put all their effort into those 4 guys. And so, what does that leave you with? It leaves you, and then they expect you to care about mid-card belts or feuds that are taking place just under the main event, i.e. Daniel Bryan and Kane. I don't give a fuck, because I've been given no reason to give a fuck, because it's such a weak, non-logic based storyline that I don't care about it. That should be that's the sort of feud that should make me care, Daniel Bryan and Kane. But I just don't. And what happens is you end up with people challenging for the belt, like Del Rio, like Dolph Ziggler, and you just don't buy into it. You don't care. I never ever think Dolph Ziggler's going to win the WWE title. He's challenged for it against Punk many times. He challenged for the belt against Edge. He's a perennial challenger, but I never think he's going to win. And if he does win, he ain't going to hold on to it. He's going to cash in. He will cash in the Money in the Bank, and he'll probably win the World Heavyweight Championship. But they'll fuck him over. They'll have him lose the belt probably at the next pay-per-view, something like that, because they've not built his stock. You need to build stock. Look at Jack Swagger when he was World Heavyweight Champion. They built his stock, and he was credible for about the 2 or 3 months that he was champion. He was credible champion. He was having good matches on TV and on pay-per-view, and then they suddenly just bang, he's gone. He's out of the main event, totally out of the picture. And then they expect you to care when they try and build them back up again. It's never going to happen. This is where they've been falling down for years. Attitude Era, Triple H, Rock, Mankind, Big Show, Austin, Undertaker, Kane. This is off the top of my head. Benoit. These are the names off the top of my head that any one of those guys could have been WWF champion as it was, and I wouldn't have been surprised. There was at least 10 guys vying for that one belt, and that is so important to build feuds and feuds within feuds around a belt. Massively important to maintain interest. In TNA, that's what they're trying to do, and they're doing a great job of it. There's Aries, a champion, Rude, Storm, Angle, Hardy, RVD, Bully Ray. All these guys could easily be the World Heavyweight Champion, and it wouldn't surprise me for 1 minute. And that shows how good a job they've done at building interest and putting their stock in more than 3 or 4 different guys. They've got invested stock into about 8 or 9 different wrestlers near the top of the card, and they've done a great job of it. the Bound for Glory series has actually helped with that. Absolutely fantastic concept. I love it. Every single match is competitive. It's 50-50. So yeah, thumbs up for the Bound for Glory series, definitely. I'm going to try and rattle through these because it's already approaching 15 minutes, I think. So, third bullet point, booking of heels. Again, something that I've not appreciated in WWE since maybe JBL in 2004. The WWE creative team and Vince, they basically think the only way a heel can win a match or should win a match is by cheating. And it's bollocks. It's absolute bollocks. You need to build strong heels. If they'd have built, looking the Attitude Era when you had Triple H, Angle, Benoit, Wrestling Machine heels, that's what needs to be built. You need to build a 50-50 feud. If I know the only way a heel's going to win is to cheat, that totally eliminates 50% of my interest in the match straight away. I need to know that heel is going to be an ass kicker and the face is going to be exactly what he should be, i.e. The Rock in the Attitude Era. That's the face against an ass kicking heel like Benoit. That's the sort of feuds that need to be built. I mean, I can't remember the last strong heel that they built and actually gave credibility to. If you look at the way TNA has booked Bully Ray, I'm not a fan of Bully Ray. I've said it on this channel a few times. I don't think he'll ever be like anything as a singles wrestler. I don't see him. I personally don't see him as that top tier heel. But the way that TNA have booked him has been fantastic. He's an ass kicker. He's a bully. That's what he is. And then Rude obviously carried the company on his back tremendously for the best part of a year as champion. And then most recently, again, Aces and Eights, who have got the upper hand on TNA's top tier babyfaces every single time there's been confrontation. Now, I'm not going to say that they'll come out on top of the feud, that they'll win the war, but they've certainly won every battle up until now, which has gained my interest. And then I'm going to guess that there'll be a TNA versus Aces and Eights match at Bound for Glory, which will make me want to see that match, because they built Aces and Eights up to a point where they're ass kickers and they are serious, a credible threat to whatever team TNA puts forward. So yeah, by all means, have TNA go over Aces and Eights at Bound for Glory. I expect that to happen, but the difference is they've built the feud to a point where people will pay to watch TNA kick Aces and Eights ass, and that's the essence of storytelling in pro wrestling. So again, the booking of heels, WWE needs to book their heels strong. They need at least 2 strong heels. Daniel Bryan should have been one. He should have been the Chris Benoit of this era, without a doubt. But they fucked that up, so what are you going to do? Fourth thing, bullet point, in-ring work. Pretty simple one, really. TNA's giving me better matches. The way I look at it is WWE will always put on decent pay-per-view, decent quality matches on pay-per-view. They're always floating around that between 7 and 8 out of 10, which is good, which is a good pay-per-view. But they treat me like a fucking idiot with the TV. They give me 3 hour. This 3 hour Raw concept is absolute shit. In my opinion, I think they're filling it with too much garbage. There's like 3 to 5 minute squash matches. There's about 4 or 5 on every episode of Raw, which I just don't want to see. I want to see competitive matches. TNA's Impact matches have been fantastic. The Bound for Glory series, every single match has been competitive. It's been 50-50. And WWE Raw has been terrible. I can't remember the last good match on Raw. If someone can remember a good match on Raw, then stick it down below, because I can't remember it off the top of my head. I just can't remember one. So SmackDown puts on decent matches from time to time. Sheamus and Ziggler, Sheamus and Orton had a decent match, but WWE treats its audience like fucking idiots, in my opinion. What they don't realise is that for every one pay-per-view, they've got 4 weeks of television to fill. Now, you can't give me shit for 4 weeks on Raw and then expect me to pay for the pay-per-view to see a decent pay-per-view. It's never going to happen. And the proof is in the pudding. The buy rates have been down for pay-per-views, and they will be, because you're giving people shit television. You're giving people no reason to buy a pay-per-view. Give me competitive feuds and competitive matches on Raw, and I'll look forward to watching the pay-per-views. So yeah, they basically take their audience for granted, in my opinion. WWE, they think that they'll automatically watch Raw, and so it doesn't need to be good. But bollocks, it needs to be good. And at the end of the day, television builds to pay-per-views, and they've totally gotten away from that concept. So, and lastly, the importance of the belt. Something that I think is massively important, and WWE has absolutely dropped the ball on in the last couple of years. The WWE Championship, they tell us it's the most important, prestigious belt in the business, in the entire industry. Now, I did a bit of research for this fucking bullet point, believe it or not, because I wanted to make sure I got my facts straight. So, these are the pay-per-views that WWE has put on so far this year in 2012, and the main event for that show, Royal Rumble, was the Royal Rumble match. Elimination Chamber was the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE title. WrestleMania, Rock and Cena. Extreme Rules, Cena and Brock. Over the Limit, Cena, Laurinaitis. No Way Out, Cena and Big Show. Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank match for a contract for a WWE title match. SummerSlam, Triple H and Brock Lesnar. You know how many of those were for the WWE title? The main event was one, Elimination Chamber, and that was an Elimination Chamber match. So I'm discounting that. The last time the WWE title was defended in a one-on-one match in the main event was Vengeance 2011, which was in October last year. That's almost a year. We're in September 2012. That's almost a year. 11 months since the WWE title has been defended in a one-on-one match in a main event of a pay-per-view. I think that says, I don't really need to say any more about it than that. That's bordering on criminal, in my opinion. They tell us that belt is the be-all and end-all in professional wrestling, and you've got matches like Cena and Laurinaitis, Cena and Big Show coming ahead of the WWE. The WWE title match should ultimately be the last match on the show, no matter what the show is, in my opinion, and no matter what other matches are on that show. The only one I can forgive is Rock and Cena at WrestleMania, because that was, as they built it, once in a lifetime, or whatever bollocks it was. But to me, the WWE title match is more important than the Rumble match. It should be on after the Rumble. It's more important than Cena and Lesnar. It's more the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, the Money in the Bank match for the contract for a WWE title match, to earn a WWE title match, was on after the WWE title match. So is that saying that that a contract for a title match is more important than the title itself? Because that's what these fucking morons are basically telling you. It's just bollocks. When you compare it again to the way TNA have built their belt, it's the last match on every pay-per-view. Without fail, it's the last match. I wouldn't ever think any other could happen. Rude brought prestige to that belt, and Aries is carrying on where he left off, and that's something again that they have done markedly better than WWE. WWE is basically shitting on their own belt, in my opinion, month after month. Now I'm assuming the WWE title match will be the main event of Night of Champions, which is like 2 weeks' time, but as I say, it's too late, because it's almost a year. It's 11 months. 11, I'm guessing 11 pay-per-views in 11 months where it's not been defended in a one-on-one match. You've had Punk Ziggler, Punk Bryan, all these feuds, all these matches, and it's never been defended as the main event. So that says it all. So yeah, I've rambled on for long enough, I think, but I just wanted to put this video out there because, as I say, TNA, thumbs up, absolutely fantastic product as of late, and WWE, you need to get your shit together, because at the moment, as I say, and I don't think I'm alone in saying this, that I'm close to switching off, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, if you're stuck to the end of this video anyway, thanks for listening, and see you later.